Back to the Mortal Realms with issue 17. So today we've got the Dreadscythe Harridans, which I have already assembled and we'll take a look at in a minute. So what we've got, Dreadscythe Harridans, 1000 Storms Part 3, and add unit leaders to your game. So we already have a number of leaders in our collection so far. We will go through what they are at the end. This issue comes with a new unit from your Nighthorn army, Dreadscythe Harridans. These are the spirits of healers that have been cursed by Nagash. They are doomed to only harm the living, never to heal anyone again. Nagash has a harsh sense of justice, and these night haunts are one of the twisted results. Once you've built and painted your new models, you'll use them in a new playthrough where we introduce unit leaders to your games. Happy hobbying. So we're going to learn about Dreadscythe Harridans, 1000 Storms Part 3, the Midnight Tomb. The anvils of the Heldenhammer fight desperately to defend the city of Lethis from the claws of Lady Oleander's army of spirits. Then we've got the build guide, which we will skirt over. A, because I've already built them, and B, because I'll have a build guide coming out for them in the next few days. Then we've got the paint guide, which we'll skirt over again because I'll be releasing my paint guide in the next 2 weeks as well. And then we'll have a little look at our playthrough mission, just so as we can look at those unit leaders and that kind of thing. But again, I won't be playing through it because I'm waiting until all my stuff is painted before doing so. Right, okay, so Dreadscythe Harridans. Murderous spirits with razor-sharp blades in place of hands. Dreadscythe Harridans cut through the living, shrieking with unnatural fury as they spill a crimson river of blood. These spirits are made all the more terrifying by the cruel nature of the curse that afflicts them. Okay. And that behind, is that a Tomb Banshee or is it a... I think it's a Mymorn Banshee behind it. Okay. So this is them painted, and they do look pretty cool. I'm not a massive fan of the look of the Nighthorn armies. And I'm not a massive fan of the models either, really, because eventually I think a lot of them do look the same, but I'm sure when I get painting them more, I'll be able to discern them a little bit more easy. Okay, then we've got our 1000 Storms. The Stormcast Eternals continue their campaign of vengeance, bringing justice and order to the mortal realms. The balance shifts. In Ghyran, which had long stood on the edge of absolute disaster, the Hallowed Knights forge an alliance with the forces of the Sylvaneth to aid Alarielle the Everqueen, the goddess of life. Having fought with everything in their power to protect Alarielle's soul pod from the Nurgle's foetid hosts, the warriors and martyrs of the Hallowed Knights and other storm hosts are vindicated when Alarielle re-emerges from her slumber in her war form. Full of wrath, she leads a merciless purge of her realm to free it from Nurgle's taint that ends with the defeat of the Plague God's favoured triplets, the Glotkin. Nice. Okay, and then it's got more different parts of that battle. Now, the Midnight Tomb. Liberator Prion Ebonshield roared as another wave of geists spilled over Lethis' towering walls. Hold the line, he bellowed. They must not reach the Midnight Tomb. The Night Haunts sought to breach the Storm Vault, which lay deep within the city's mausoleum. Screeching spirits descended upon Lethis, spilling rivers of blood with their claws, talons, and malignant weapons. Okay, so who have we got here? So we've got the Ebonshields. Led by Rostar Ebonshield, this retinue of liberators earned battle honours during the Realmgate Wars. They were assigned to protect the walls of Lethis as the forces of Lady Oleander sought to breach them and raid the Storm Vault known as the Midnight Tomb. Then we've got Xenia Scythaxe. Xenia Scythaxe was the leader of a circle of healer druids who used their slaves and herbal remedies to save the lives of the sick. She has since fallen victim to the Harridan curse and must now spend the rest of eternity tearing screaming mortals to ragged shreds. Okay, so more on that story there. Then we've got our build guide, which I will be covering in depth later or in a later video. Our paint guide, again, covered in depth in a later video. Let's actually look at the paint guide. So the paint guide to start with is the same as all the other ones. So Corax white, Nylon oxide, dry brush of Corax white, Cantor blue on the fabric, in this case Abaddon black on the hair. And that's everything there'll be for this model up until that stage. Then we've got our playthrough, again, to be covered in depth in a future video. But it's called the Dreadscythe Menace. Beneath the surface, the battle of the mausoleum rages on as Xandria Azurbolt battles the Briar Queen for control of the tomb secrets. Outside in the dark of night, the rest of the Stormcast Eternals continue to battle seamlessly endless waves of night haunts. If reinforcements don't begin to arrive soon, the Hammers of Sigmar will surely be overrun by their foes. Okay, so this is our battle setup. We've got all of our mausoleum terrain out. So we've got Chain Rasps and the Dreadscythe Harridans up against 3 Castigators and our 3 original Sequitors. We've got our War Scrolls as usual, but we are going to learn about our unit leaders. So Dreadwarden for the Chain Rasp Horde, Castigator Prime for the Castigators, Slasher Crone for the Harridans, and Slasher Crone looks like this. Let's quickly give you a look at all of the models from this issue. Very cool. So that's that one, and the rest of the Harridans look like this. So Slasher Crone's got 2 arms, or well, I say arms, scythes. Sorry, Slasher Crone's got 4 scythes, and the rest have got 2. There's 2 of them, here's the other 2. And interestingly, in this issue, we have got some extra stuff that's left on the sprue. Now you can tell that these are for Harridans as well. And I believe that is because we could have used some of our Slasher Crone to make another standard Harridan. There is there's an extra head there as well. Anyway, sorry, back to it. Now, our leaders actually have a bit of a stat boost on the War Scrolls. So, for example, on all of them, it's got an addition to attack. So for our Sequitor Prime, add 1 to the attacks characteristic. For the Castigator Prime, add 1 to the hit rolls for attacks made with the Castigator Prime's Thunderhead Great Bow. For the Slasher Crone, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of the Slasher Crone's Scythed Limbs. And then for the Chain Rasp Horde, it's got the Dreadwarden, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of the Dreadwarden's Malignant Weapon. Okay, and then everything else is more or less as it was before. So we continue to just play through as usual, but we will get back to that in another issue. And what I want to add to future playthroughs as well is I received the Premium Kit 1, for which if my review isn't up by the time you get this, then it will be very soon afterwards. But there you go. Right, so what have we got coming up next? So in 2 weeks' time, we've got more paint, Lead Belcher and Dryad Bark, as well as, very exciting, another new battle mat. So that's very cool. And then the following week in issue 19, we have got some really cool stuff. The Knight of Shrouds, the Guardian of Souls, and Spirit Torment. So I believe these are all 3 separate heroes. I'm not entirely sure. I believe they are, just from the way they're presented here. But yeah, so that's another really, really exciting one that is just around the corner. So that's about 4 weeks away if we continue down, as we continue down our current delay due to COVID-19. But there you go, guys. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really does help, especially those likes. And thanks for watching. I'll see you later.